Mastering decision making. Here's how I've created a framework for me to be able to master making big decisions in my life and feeling really great about them. The first step in this framework is to actually understand my true north. And true north, or what we reference at Life on Your Terms, is comprised of your core values. So specifically, what matters to you? Is it integrity? Is it family? Is it success? Is it presence? Is it impact? Is it help? Whatever it is, you gotta find and create those values, because then you have a guide, and that's your true north. You want that true north because if you don't have a direction, or you don't have something to create and find and filter decisions through, you'll have no idea how to make the decision, because the best decision for you may be different from the best decision for me, based upon our core values, or also what we value on a long-term basis. What does 10-year you look like? Or what does 10-year me look like? And when we consider those things, that can help you create long-term best decisions within your life. So my dad always used to tell me, short-term versus long-term, Chris, short-term versus long-term. I was always thinking about those decisions in high school is, does this prioritize short-term growth or short-term satisfaction, or does this prioritize long-term growth and long-term fulfillment? So I always ask myself now is, what does 10-year me look like? And so for me, a good example of this was I had to go between a rock and a hard place, between going to master's school or starting my coaching business. And between those two, I had to ask myself, what does 10-year me look like? What is 10-year from now? What is Chris gonna be like 10 years from now? What do I wanna be like? And for me, it's owning my own business with employees and doing all that good stuff. And so master's school did not align with that, because that's 3 years taking away from valuable business education that does not contribute to my 10-year self. That master's school time would not contribute to that. So starting my coaching journey made more sense. For you though, if you had to make that decision between starting your own business or going to master's school, you have to ask yourself, what does you in 10 years look like? If you want to have a stable job where you make 6 figures, maybe master's school would be the best decision. If that's what I wanted, master's school would have been the best decision possible. But I thought about what 10-year me wanted, and then I was able to make that decision a lot easier. Now, one final thing with True North is creating that filter, or that one thing. When you create your core values and when you create that vision of what you look like in 10 years, you have a one thing, you have something you are going to pursue. You have a litmus test for every decision to understand that this is what I'm on. And does this decision keep me on this path, or does it take me off this path? And so everything goes through this filter, and it'll help you reflect and make the best decisions possible for you. Because problems with these big decisions in life is we get all these opinions from other people. And then usually what we try to do is we take all these opinions, maybe we take the average of these opinions, weighted on how these people know us, how much we value these opinions, and then we make the decision. But the problem is you're not thinking about what's the best decision for you. And by creating this true north, you'll have a much better filter to make the best decision for you. So the first step is getting a true north and leaning into that. The second piece is going to be to gather and evaluate information. If you're making a big decision in your life, you're not just going to go into it blindly. So the first piece is actually going to be research and data collection. You're going to look at the options, the outcomes, and consult with people ahead of you that you value their opinion. And again, not to take their opinion and do what they say, but it can be helpful that if you look up to people and you aspire to be like them, their insights can be valuable, and then you filter that through your true north with their information in mind. So you want to research and data collect first. After you've researched and data collect, it's finally time to weigh the pros and cons. So you've got all your information. It's time to look like, okay, what are the pros of this decision in regards to my 10-year self? And what are the cons to this decision in regards to my 10-year self? And also, you can objectively evaluate through this statement, and you can apply this statement in the last step. And it is, I will X for Y expecting Z. And then I'll take the emotions out of it. So I will do action X for Y time period expecting Z result. So for example, for me, is I'm in this course for marketing, sales, appointment booking for coaches, whatever. I will do the actions within the course for a year expecting 20 high-paying clients. That's just an example. So by doing that, it takes all the emotion out of it, because then I'm just focused for the next year, focusing on the course actions, expecting this result. And if I were to get that result, great, keep going. Or if I were not to get that result, okay, I can reevaluate at that time. And with decision making, it's important to take the emotion out of it. So after you've done that, you want to avoid analysis paralysis. You want to actually commit and make a decision, because not making a decision is a decision, and one will be given to you. So I would encourage you to actually set a deadline for making a decision. If you're choosing between master school and coaching, or you're choosing between leaving a job for another job, or whatever it may be, set a deadline for it, because not making a decision is a decision. So that's what I had to do with master school, is to actually set a deadline. It was November, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna set this deadline, and by then I'm going to choose. And then by choosing, I was committed. And that's the final step, is to actually make the decision and commit. Put that statement you made into practice. Because what you can do then is you want to make a decision and commit, and then practice quiet time to really reminisce on the decision and think about it before you take it. Listen to your subconscious, especially let it filter in with your values. Put your filter to work that you developed in step one. And the second piece is to commit, and commit 100%. Once you have made that decision, don't straddle the line anymore. Once you've made the decision to go on one side, commit to it 100%. You're gonna get better outcomes when you commit fully, because when you straddle that line, when you don't make the decision, either one will be given to you, or you'll half-ass it and it won't be near as good as what if it could be. And so you wanna commit 100%. And let's say you commit 100% and you made the wrong decision. Well, the cool thing is that you get to learn. You get to learn and reflect on the mistakes you made along the way. And the cool part is that there's nothing you can do about it now. It's gonna make a better story, and I guarantee the decision you're worried about right now will not matter in 10 years. So that's how I've mastered decision making. That's my framework I go through whenever I had a big life decision. I go through all these things, think about what I value, what I want to do. Then I consult people, then I weigh the pros and cons. Then I make that statement for myself. And once I make that statement for myself, I then make the decision and then commit for that time period. And then I will reevaluate after that time period is up. And that is something you guys can do as well. If that was helpful, please comment. Maybe even comment your statement, your XYZ statement that you are gonna make for yourself, because then you're gonna be even more committed because you're accountable for it. With that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next one.